Okay, let me bring you some breaking news from Malaysia. The King has appointed Ismail Sabri as the new Prime Minister, marking the return of the long-ruling UMNO party. He replaces Muhyiddin Yassin, who resigned on Monday. Yassin's coalition fell apart over criticism that he mishandled the coronavirus pandemic. Sabri's UMNO party governed Malaysia for 6 decades after independence, but it lost power in 2018 because of a corruption scandal. Well, Florence Louis is joining us live now from Kuala Lumpur. Florence, first of all, what more do we know about Malaysia's new Prime Minister?
Well, we know that he's got the support of 114 members of parliament out of 220. Now, Ismail Sabri being appointed as the Prime Minister of Malaysia really puts UMNO in a much stronger position. UMNO was already part of government under the Muhyiddin Yassin administration, and now this new alliance is essentially made up of the very same parties as the previous administration. But UMNO will now be in the driver's seat because Ismail Sabri Yaqoob is the Vice President of UMNO. Now, this is a position that UMNO has coveted, and in fact, it was UMNO that brought down the Muhyiddin Yassin administration when 15 MPs from UMNO decided that they would no longer support him. But it was also Muhyiddin Yassin that allowed UMNO to come back into power via so-called the back door, when Muhyiddin Yassin, who was part of the ruling administration, switched sides and aligned himself with UMNO. Now, in terms of the policies going forward with Ismail Sabri at the helm of the leadership, analysts say they don't expect much to change because Ismail Sabri was also part of the previous administration. So the government's handling of the pandemic, or mismanagement, if you will, because Malaysia, despite a state of emergency, despite a lockdown, has still been recording record high number of new infections and deaths. It's got one of the highest rates of coronavirus cases in the region. Well, these policies haven't worked, and it has created a lot of public anger. But analysts don't expect the policies to change because the government will remain much the same. And we are expecting to see the same faces in cabinet as well. Now, about an hour ago, there were already about nearly 350,000 signatures in an online petition against Ismail Sabri being appointed as the Prime Minister. So, I'm not sure how much this changes in terms of policy for Malaysia, in terms of the pandemic, in terms of how it's going to handle its economic recovery. But what this does is it does put UMNO in a much stronger position than before.
Florence, thank you very much indeed. That's Florence Louis bringing us up to date from Kuala Lumpur.